A desolate park with sparse grass, a few tired trees, and a warm pathway leading away. The overcast sky casts a soft, somber light over the scene. A cold metal bench at the edge of the park, surrounded by sparse grass and a few bare trees. The bench appears worn and uninviting under the gray skies. Michael Thompson sits on the cold metal bench, clutching his worn-out backpack. His shoulders are slumped, and his gaze is fixed down the path, lost in thought. Michael Thompson's hands tightly gripping the straps of his worn-out backpack, knuckles pale from the pressure. The fabric of the backpack shows signs of heavy wear and tear. Michael Thompson's face is rugged and weary, his deep-set hazel eyes gazing down the path with a vacant, introspective expression. The worn pathway stretches into the distance, scattered with fallen leaves. A few people bustle past, their figures blurred and indifferent. A child's bright red ball rolling across the sparse grass, a stark contrast to the muted tones of the park. Seen from Michael Thompson's point of view, the worn pathway stretches ahead, framed by sparse grass and leafless trees. A blurred figure walks briskly in the distance. A tired tree with bare branches sways slightly in the soft breeze. The overcast sky looms above, emphasizing the gray, somber atmosphere. Michael Thompson sits alone on the cold bench, surrounded by the sparse, desolate park. His figure is small and isolated against the vast, muted background. Meeting Mr. Ortega, a cozy bakery interior with wooden shelves lined with loaves of bread and pastries. A glass display case filled with golden baked goods stands in the foreground. A warm oven glows in the background. Michael Thompson stands hesitantly at the bakery entrance, his hand resting on the doorframe as he looks inside. Bright natural light from the windows highlights his rugged appearance. The view from Michael Thompson's perspective shows the glowing oven at the back, the wooden shelves filled with bread, and the bustling atmosphere of the bakery. Michael Thompson steps into the bakery, his shoulders slightly hunched, his gaze sweeping over the shelves and display case filled with baked goods. Michael Thompson's face, his deep-set hazel eyes wide with wonder as he takes in the sights and smells of the bakery. Mr. Ortega stands behind the counter, his warm brown eyes focused on at Michael Thompson as he greets him with a welcoming smile. Mr. Ortega's hands as he places a tray of freshly baked croissants onto the counter. The golden pastries glisten under the bakery's warm lighting. Michael Thompson steps closer to the counter, his gaze shifting to the glass display case filled with colorful pastries and baked goods. The glass display case, showing rows of intricately decorated pastries and neatly arranged loaves of bread. Michael Thompson looks up at Mr. Ortega, his rugged face softening slightly as he listens to the baker's cheerful greeting. Michael Thompson's hands as he lightly grazes the edge of the counter, a subtle expression of his hesitance and curiosity. The view shifts to the bakery's cozy interior, showing the warm wooden tones, neatly arranged baked goods, and the glowing oven in the background. The bakery's kitchen, now with Michael Thompson and Mr. Ortega standing together near the counter, the warm light encapsulating the nurturing atmosphere. Learning to bake the bakery's kitchen, with the large oven at the center, surrounded by bags of flour, mixing bowls and trays of pastries. Warm artificial lighting casts a cozy glow. Michael Thompson stands at a wooden counter, kneading dough with focused determination. His hands are dusted with flour, and his gaze is fixed on the dough. Michael Thompson's hands kneading the dough, the texture of the dough and flour particles visible under the warm light. Mr. Ortega stands beside Michael Thompson, leaning slightly forward, gesturing with his hand as he offers guidance. His expression is warm and encouraging. Mr. Ortega's hand pointing to the dough, emphasizing a specific technique. Michael Thompson nods slightly, his expression serious and focused, gazing at the dough as he absorbs Mr. Ortega's advice. A measuring cup filled with flour is carefully leveled off by Michael Thompson's hand, flour particles floating in the air. Michael Thompson pours the measured flour into a large mixing bowl on the counter, his movements deliberate and precise. The oven's interior, pastries, beginning to rise, their golden tops illuminated by the warm light inside the oven. Michael Thompson crouches in front of the oven, gazing intently at the rising pastries through the glass door. His expression reflects a mix of anticipation and satisfaction. Mr. Ortega stands to the side, observing Michael Thompson with a proud smile, arms crossed, framed by the warm, cozy kitchen environment. A tray of freshly baked pastries on the counter, their golden crusts steaming slightly, filling the frame with rich textures. Michael Thompson stands at the counter, holding a tray of the freshly baked pastries, his expression calm but with a hint of pride. Mr. Ortega is visible in the background, smiling faintly. Michael Thompson's face as he looks at the tray of pastries in his hands, his hazel eyes reflecting determination and a growing sense of purpose. The bakery's kitchen, now with Michael Thompson and Mr. Ortega standing together near the counter, the warm light encapsulating the nurturing atmosphere. Opening, Second Chances. The exterior of Second Chances Bakery, featuring its bright sign that reads, "No one leaves here hungry," with a welcoming entrance surrounded by cheerful, diverse groups of people. Michael Thompson stands outside the bakery near the brightly colored sign, gazing at the bustling crowd with a proud smile on his face. The bakery sign reading "Second Chances" in elegant lettering, with the motto, "No one leaves here hungry," displayed below. A group of customers, including a child holding a paper bag, enters the bakery through the welcoming entrance. Michael Thompson, standing outside the bakery, warmly greets a customer while extending his hand towards the door. Michael Thompson's face, his hazel eyes reflecting pride and hope as he smiles warmly. The bakery interior, showcasing shelves filled with freshly baked goods like loaves of bread, pastries, and cookies, warmly lit by natural light streaming through the windows. Michael Thompson, now inside the bakery, stands behind the counter, handing a brown paper bag filled with freshly baked goods to an elderly customer with a smile. Michael Thompson's hand holding a brown paper bag as he passes it to a customer, the bakery counter visible in the background. A diverse group of customers sitting at small tables inside the bakery, chatting and enjoying their pastries, with the warm, inviting atmosphere of the bakery surrounding them. First-person point of view looking down. A customer's hand holding a steaming coffee cup with a flaky croissant on a plate beside it on a wooden table. Michael Thompson and Mr. Ortega stand together behind the counter, exchanging a warm glance with the busy bakery in the background. Mr. Ortega's face, his warm brown eyes and friendly smile radiating pride and encouragement as he looks at Michael Thompson. The exterior of the bakery as seen from across the street, with people entering and exiting, creating a lively and welcoming scene. A child runs out of the bakery holding a small box tied with a red ribbon, smiling excitedly as they head toward an adult waiting by the sidewalk. Michael Thompson, standing next to the bakery's entrance, watches the child running with a small box, his smile widening with a sense of fulfillment. A freshly baked loaf of bread on a wooden cutting board with a dusting of flour on the surface and warm, natural light highlighting its crust. Michael Thompson stands at the bakery's entrance, his figure silhouetted against the warm and inviting glow of the interior as he looks out at the lively crowd.